Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast. And yes, it's me again. You're probably getting bored of hearing me now. It's RGT, and this is episode 277, apparently. I normally always get this wrong, but yeah, 277. And I'm joined today by not only the sexiest Switch man on YouTube, Scott, aka Marathon Gaming, we are also joined by... Yeah, you're all thinking, who is it? Who is it? Well, you know who it's going to be. It is Triple S, a.k.a. Seb, the man who's back. How are we doing, Seb?
I'm thinking I'm back. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Glad to be back with y'all.
It's great to have you back on. And nice to see you're safe and sound. And we know us all, that's not been going very well over where you live at the moment. So we're just glad you're safe and family safe and everything. And yeah, it's brilliant to have you back on. And yeah, it's going to be a good show, I think. How are you doing, Scott?
Yeah, I'm very good. I'm just in awe seeing Seb's beautiful face, man. I missed him so much. I'm so glad he's here. And I want to know the amount of games he plays and completes. And he's got everything, like from, he gets the codes from the developers first. He gets all the exclusive. I just want to hear what he's been up to. It's been so long, so I'm so glad he's back on. So I'm going to be like a little giddy school kid. I'm going to be flickering my little eyes. I'm going to be just staring into his beautiful face.
You know what it is, Scott? You know what it is?
Yeah.
Seb's the gamer that we all want to be.
Exactly that.
Oh, no.
He's the man with the codes. He's the man with the awesome games room. He's the man with, platinums his games. He's the man who plays Games Pass. He doesn't play Switch very much, but I mean, he plays his Steam Deck. Yeah, we all want to be Seb, don't we? Really,
RGT, I think you've already lubed me up enough. I need to go straight in because I'm wet. I'm wet and ready. I need to know, Seb, what have you been playing? Please tell the world.
So first of all, I've been wanting to get back onto this, to get back with you guys for a while now, but a little event happened in gaming, that a little console came out, and I wanted y'all to have joy with this console. I didn't want to be the bringer of negativity around anything Switch related when the Switch 2 came out. So I held myself back from that. I actually did experience the Switch 2. I didn't buy it, but I experienced it. I played quite a bit of Mario Kart World. Yeah, I think, interesting enough, I think it's a good game. I think Mario Kart World is a very good game. I don't think for the Switch 2 launch, my question that I keep asking myself, revolving around that, is outside of games that have already come out, has this been one of the weaker launchers that we've just objectively speaking? Because you only have Mario Kart World there, and you had the debacle that was it Welcome to Nintendo Switch, like the Nintendo Switch hack-on game. Yeah. So I'm like, has this been one of the weaker launch lineups that we've seen so far? And I'm curious because I tried to be objective while playing Mario Kart World. I liked the game a lot, but then from everything that I like about it, I can't turn that part of my brain that always asks, is this really truly worthy of being the first $80 game, though? I have that lens there of I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, they charged us $80 for this bad boy, and then they also this is also an open world game that is mirroring Mario Kart with Forza, because it's you drive to your next event, drive to your next courses, and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, as a reviewer, we've all had that stigma. There's been that stigma of open world games that feel empty, and I'm like, it feels a little empty for me. So I'm like, I've had that back and forth thing, Mario Kart World, where I'm like, I'm seeing good game here, but I'm like, the outside factors sort of tainted the experience a bit for me. But outside of that, I've been obsessed with this game. It's been a while since I've been on the show, so I'm not going to bore y'all too much with the encyclopedia that I've been playing. But I've been obsessed with this game called The Alters. Have y'all heard of it?
No, I don't think I have. No.
Ah.
Okay, so the altars, I'll just give you a brief pitch. So imagine you are on an expedition, a space expedition with a crew. You are just a General Joe Smo with a crew, and y'all are going to a planet to just like tap into a metallic resource that scientists feel like is going to change everything for y'all. But anyways, you get to this planet. You find out the crew died on impact. Their individual like pads, all their individual crafts have like they're dead in their crafts, and you're the only one left. So you end up finding the resource, but you have just the expertise that you have, which is just a generic worker. So you end up finding out that the materials that you can mine can allow you to make clones of yourself. And in each different like form of your clone, you can go to your computer and you can alter previous impact points of your life and change the way that clone thinks that its life played out. And then by doing so, you can make that clone a doctor because that clone thinks it went to medical school and thinks that
that's brilliant.
Oh my goodness, it's fantastic. So like,
so is this sort of pixel art, or is it like
No, this is like 3D. It's sort of feels like Dead Space in a way, to where like you're on a barren kind of environment. It's a base like resource slash like I would say like emotional. You're dealing with like emotional spectrums, and as far as like you have to talk to the individual crew members because they have different memories and they have a different life path that they went on or believe they went on because you've altered their memories up to that point. So I'm like, everything that led them up to signing up for the expedition that you eventually went on was completely different because you altered their memories. So I'm like, you have a doctor, you have a guard, you can get a guard, you can get like a botanist, a cook. You have so many of these people, and because like you've altered their memories, their personalities are vastly different than yours. So I'm like,
no way, what a clever game.
Oh yeah, so I'm like, you have one guy who's like he went through a mining. He's a miner. He went through a mining accident. His arm, his one of his arms got severed, and when you grew him back, he grew back with two arms. So instead of it being a blessing, though, like he was still dealing with like pain medication addiction and such like that. So in his mind, he's still a addict, and he's also still feeling the ghost pain from when his arm got cut off. So I'm like,
well, that's quite deep, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. So I'm like, you also have to manage his emotions and also choose the choices of like, well, do we give him pain medicine even though he has no ailments anymore? Like, or do we chop off his arm and then that sort of like, because he can't handle having two arms, like, do we chop it off and then grow it back? Or what do we do there? Like, how do we manage his emotions? You have like a technician who's like, he's like battling depression, but then he's also like he has these extreme highs and lows, and you have to manage kind of his emotions, but he's also the one who takes care of your shit. So I'm like, you also have to pick out like you also go into the world, and the world around you, you have like resources that you're managing. So I'm like resources that you're mining, and then like you're also unveiling what happened to the original crew. So it's all this really kind of deep gameplay mixed in with some hard emotional choices that you have to make. And the crazy thing is like I found that this game sort of continues the path that I'm on this year in gaming, to where like I'm having more fun with the AA games versus the AAA this year, to where like the Kingdom Come Deliverances of the world, you have like Expedition, like the game that took over the world. I'm like, all these games that came out that are 30 to 40 to $50 to me are like shooting higher and punching harder than the games that came out that are 70 and $80 this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true.
So yeah, I've been playing a lot of the altars. That's on Game Pass, and it's also on pretty much everything right now except for the Switch 2. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Scott, I want to hear about you. What's your gaming journey been like lately?
Well, I don't know if you're going to want to hear what I've been playing because it's been on the Nintendo Switch too, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I've
Okay.
been playing, RGT mentioned it last week in the show about our challenge accepted this month in the Discord. So by Digital Monkery is Belatro. And obviously it's been out a fair while. It's it's lived up to the hype. Everyone's played, everyone's enjoyed it, everyone knows about Belatro, so you don't want to keep going on about it. But I've got to because I literally was going through the eShop. I was playing a few different games. So I talked about last week when I did my solo show. I was playing a game called Telling Lies, which is an FMV game, and I just couldn't quite get into it. I know Ginger in the Discord said it's a good game. Of course, he's platinumed it. He's platinumed everything, but I couldn't quite get too into it to work out what you're supposed to do. In that one, you're reviewing basically the footage, and you're hearing one side of the story trying to piece together with four different actors. So I was sort of playing that. I was like, I've had enough. Then I was playing some more of Dino Survivor. Seb, I don't know if you've heard, but do not check that game out. Do not even put it in Google. I don't want you adding any advertisement to it. I shouldn't be talking about it now. It's an RPG dinosaur game. And for some reason, I just want to get all the way to a T-Rex. So I keep unlocking every dinosaur. But I need to move on. I can't be doing this. So I'm going through the eShop, and then I couldn't find anything. I've gone through, looked at sales. I thought I've gone through the same list over and over again. And I thought, I'll join in a challenge accepted. So I re-downloaded Belatro very quick on the Switch 2, how quick the games re-download in comparison to the original Switch. Very, very quick. And yeah, so I put Belatro in, and then I was like, do you know what? I only played this for 1 hour. I've not given it the time of day. So I was enjoying it, playing it as, a poker game, but I wasn't playing it as a roguelike. So I wasn't doing different runs. I've probably done 2 or 3 runs. And then I was like, oh, is this all it is? I don't like it sometimes when people hype something. I like to find it on my own. So I played it, appreciated it. I was like, yeah, I can see why people like it. Put it down. And I was like, hold on, there's a game in here. So I started really playing it. I sent a few voice notes to Digital Monkery, and I said, Tom, I need you to help me out here. I was like, what's going on here? I was like, what's the crack to this game? He gave me a few pointers. He said that he's been addicted to it, played loads of hours. And I've been playing it all of this week. And just this week, I looked, I've done 10 hours just this week playing the game.
That's got you.
Mate, it's so, so good. I know people probably screaming at their phones or their radios, just like, how has he not got into it before? But yeah, the penny hadn't dropped, and now it has. And every time I finish a run, I'll do 2 runs in a row, and then I just potter around. I'm like, right, I can't keep playing this. I'll go do something. I'll do a few chores around the house. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, I need to get back on there. So it's proper got me, right? And there is one more game I've been playing. If anyone does want to join in, you've got to the end of the month, join the Discord. The link's in the show notes, and then go onto the challenge accepted section. And basically it's your highest hand. So you can play as many games you want. There's no rules to that, whatever buffs you want or whatever route you go to. But yeah, I went to the eShop. I was like, I need to get a different game. I can't just keep playing Belatro. I need some sort of distraction. But the card games have hooked me, right? So there's a new game. It's called, again, it's not really, I mean, I've probably played it to the max. I've only played it for a few hours. It's called Fool's Pub. And basically, it's £5 at launch. It come out literally a week ago. It's currently 28% off at £3.91. So I probably got it at sale even when it launched. The fact that it launched on sale isn't a good sign. Basically, but I'm going to sell it to you here. Very simple, right? All it is, it's a bluffing game. It's not like any card game I've played before. So basically, I mean, Seb might know this is an American game. So basically, you get dealt the cards, and then say it starts off with a king. You have to go around saying how many of that card you're going to put down. I think we've got without ruining our swearing, bullshit, I think is what we might call it.
Yeah.
Basically, you put your cards in, and then as it goes, you've got to keep going around. So sometimes you want to pretend you've got one or hold one back. And then, but what's the catch of this game? It's not just a card game, but what's cool about it is rather than having lives, it's Russian roulette. There's a gun on the table. Every player has a gun. And then when you get called out, a bluff, if you are bluffing, you take a shot at the head. It's one in, and there's 6, it's a revolver, there's 6 bullets in there, and it's a 1 in 6 chance of getting knocked out of the game. So it's quite a cool angle.
That adds tension, doesn't it? That.
Yeah, have you been playing that online or offline? Because I played this back in the day.
Oh, okay. Yes, so I have played it online. But what I've found is it's a little bit broken. So the avatars are really easy. And then I was enjoying it. I felt like I'm really good. I mean, I should be saying this. I felt like I was good at lying. So I was beating a lot of people, but I found people kept on. Unfortunately, say you're a host of a game. If you go out first, they have to watch the whole game. So people would quit, but they won't get the XP. But I get it. I mean, even I've done it because I'm meant to be meeting a mate down a pub on a Saturday in an hour's time. I don't want to be sitting there watching people play for 20 minutes. I want to go out and go back into a game. So that was a bit flawed. However, I would say for a quick pick up and play game for under £5, I mean, that's really refreshing to hear. When did it come out then, Seb?
This has been, I think it was a Steam early access game back in the day. Because that's the first, that was my first instance of playing that game. Because correct me if I'm wrong, that's where you're anthropomorphic animals, right?
Yes, that's a very intelligent way of putting it. I was going to say you're a fox or a bear, but I like I like the fact, I like that. But yeah, you can change basically different animal avatars. So it's kind of, and when you shoot, there's no blood. It sort of sparks a bit like fireworks. So it means that children can play it. So it's quite clever. They've took the gambling and the danger away from it, but it's implied that that's what's happening. It is a gun, and you are shooting yourself, and it is Russian roulette, and you are playing cards in a pub.
If I remember the press release for that one, well, I do believe like the developers were inspired by that famous poker portrait that had like the dogs. Where the dogs are
dogs playing poker. Yeah, it's called Dogs Playing Poker. Yeah, that makes sense actually. But I've been playing that. That's probably it really. I mean, I haven't gone back to the survival game. But this goes to show you how good Belatro is, right? I was going on and on about how good Stranded Deep is, right? And I was playing it for a good couple of weeks, and I did 10 hours on it. I've done 10 hours on Belatro just in 5 days. That's how good that game is.
It's got you. I've been telling y'all, man, Belatro.
Yeah, Seb, I should have listened. And I always say I should always listen to Seb because you do know best. But yeah, what a game. So I need to thank Digital Monkery for putting the competition on. And Digital Monkery has played, if not hundreds, maybe thousands of hours. Don't get put off by his top score because we can have a battle at the bottom. I am miles off the pace at the bottom of the table. So if you're bad at the game, don't worry about it. Join in, and then we can have a battle at who's going to come last. And I tell you what, I might throw a booby prize in for who comes last. So why not get involved?
If you're looking for a Belatro alternative, like if you do get tired of Belatro but you still want a card game, like Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers is like amazing as well because like it's a roguelike, but the twist is you're almost just like the game you talked about just now. You're in a pub as well. You also have like these NPCs that'll talk to you as opposed to like Belatro where you're mostly playing against like a set goal, so to speak. And in this one, it's almost like you are playing blackjack, though. It's a blackjack roguelike as opposed to poker. Yeah, as opposed to poker, and it's just as addicting. I think like and especially since you're looking for games to play on the Switch too, since y'all are waiting for anything besides Mario Kart at this point.
Hey, we've got Cyberpunk, right? I thought I'd keep quiet earlier, but if you want to go to war, we go there.
It's 2025. I love Cyberpunk's my favorite game this generation, by the way. So I'm like,
GT, cut his mic.
Hats off to y'all for finally experiencing 5 years later. RGT, what have you been playing, man?
Stay with us. We'll be right back. If you like video games, then you can't miss Call Me By Your Game. It's a podcast hosted by me, Sweetie Pie Connor McCabe, where I invite a guest to share about a special video game from a memorable moment in their life. That's right, it's baked in nostalgia. Was Persona 5 a warm blanket during the pandemic? Did Mario Kart 64 feel like a vacation? Or does Spyro remind you of that winter break with Dad? These are the types of stories told on the podcast. So call me Tetris, Half-Life, or StarCraft 2, it's up to you. Find the show wherever you get your podcasts and get ready to call me by your game.
I'll start off with, for the visual viewers, I had pre-ordered and picked up one of these this week. which
Wow.
if you're not familiar with, it is the Hyper Mega Tech, which is technically Evercade, their sister company, Super Pocket, and they've done a Neo Geo version. It's got 14 inbuilt Neo Geo games, like Last Resort,
beautiful.
Metal Slug X. As you can see, I've got my Windjammers and that cartridge in the back because they do play the Evercade cartridges as well, which gives you a good library. So I won't go through all the games I've been playing. I've been playing all my different Evercade games on. My opinion of it, I think it is absolutely fantastic, this thing. This retails for £50 in the UK, which
it's so cheap.
It is cheap. The screen is fantastic. The viewing angles are fantastic. The D-pad's really good. The buttons feel really good quality. It's got you've got your L1, R1, R2s, and L2s on the back for if you've got any the PS1 ports you need to play, like your Tomb Raiders or some of the N64 games. You can set in the options, so you can do scan lines, CRT mode. You can change all that.
What's your favourite game on there?
Well, out of my Evercade games, I've got what I'm looking up, so they're up there, but I've got about 14, 15 cartridges of the Evercade, which at the moment there's 100 cartridges out for the Evercade. Everything from home computers to retro consoles to arcade games. So there's a lot of selection there, and these games retail for normally less than $20 if you want to pick a cartridge up. So they're very affordable, and then you get the manuals, you get the cases, like little mini Mega Drive cases. For this, I think it was Last Resort I was playing, was really good. I hadn't played that, and because some of these being Neo Geo arcade games, probably some of these we've never played, so it's nice to have a place to play them. Metal Slug plays phenomenally well. I always remember Metal Slug for being really good, but you get that massive slowdown when you get. I haven't seen any slowdown on here yet, so it seems as though OS really runs it well. And I just think it's brilliant. You know, I love me Evercade anyway, so going away out for the day or going on holiday, take a few cartridges with you and away you go. You know, and with some of the cartridges having 10 plus games on, you only need a couple of cartridges and you've got plenty to play. So yeah, over the moon of it. I've also there's another Neo Geo cartridge coming out. I believe it's been delayed, so I think it's next month, August, as we're recording this. I've got that pre-ordered, and that's got a few more of the Metal Slugs on. I think it's got a few of the what's the fighters on? The Blade fighters where you have the swords on Neo Geo. I can't never remember. Samurai Showdown, is it? Is it Samurai Showdown? Yeah, I think Samurai Showdown's going to be on there. So I've got that pre-ordered. If you're thinking, they don't just do Neo Geo ones of these. You can get Capcom, you can get Atari versions, they're all the same, just different skins on, so they look cool. But yeah, I'm over the moon with this. I think they're brilliant. If you're in the UK,
the price is unbelievable. Can't believe
how they've made. I mean, my home console one, which you can put 2 cartridges in and load up all your games. You have interface, you get free monthly games, you can update it. They've now done mouse support for certain games, so if you're playing your Broken Swords or your point and clicks, you can use a mouse with it. I mean, it's very open what they've done with it, and I think you can pick a home console up for £80. And it's just, I just don't know how they've done it, but fair play, British made, well done. Done for Evercade guys and Blaze Entertainment. You've done it again, absolutely brilliant.
Can I ask you 2 questions about it, real quick?
You certainly can, yeah.
Okay, so 1, does it have an SD card? And 2, is the B button on the bottom and the A button on the side?
The B button is on the side and the A button's on the bottom, but...
Oh, as it should be, the holy way.
Yeah, but you can also reprogram your buttons as you want them to be. Yeah. And no, it doesn't as a SD card slot because they literally play these cartridges that you get in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, and they release these, like I say, it's been 100 cartridges released now, but they always release them at a very, very cheap price. And they do things from Atari to Commodore 64, right up to, like you say, Neo Geo. And then they also do indie games. A lot of people who are releasing newer indie games are on there. So there's a couple of those I've picked up, like Life on Mars and things like that, them sort of Mega Drive indie games. which play really well, really good. These sort of Metroidvanias that people are releasing now, they get the licenses to, give them another push on a different system. So, yeah, I can't speak highly enough of that. So if you're into your retro game and you want an affordable way to do it, that is the way to go. I've also been playing some more of Singularity. I had a spare day last week. I was actually off work last week, but I was doing a lot of work at home. But I had a stay where I thought, right, I need to get stuck into Singularity, and I played it for about 6 hours. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant for a game that, like I've said before, I picked up for 50 pence. It's brilliant. I don't know how I'd never even heard of this being EA, but really good. Love the story. I think it's because within the last 18 months, I've played the BioShock games, and this really gives me the BioShock vibe, the story, and how you go through slightly more basic story, but it's also got the dulcet tones of Nolan North in, which is very reassuring to hear. But yeah, really good. Enjoying the story, linear, but you work your way through, and it's quite good with the combat and upgrading your guns and how it's done. And yeah, like I say, Scott was telling me the other week when we were recording, it's quite a short game, so I would imagine I'm a good sort of 8-9 hours in. So I would imagine I ain't got long before end game, couple more hours, I would imagine. So hopefully this time next week for recording, I'll be about there with that. But yeah, really enjoying Singularity. Proper little, hidden gem, I think, there, that if you do see that in CEX or in a game shop for just a couple of pounds, pick it up. If you like your first person shooters, you like BioShock, that's a no-brainer. I've also, very unlike me, this will come as a bit of a shock, but I've also, it was on sale on a Switch store. I think it was £5, I think. Yeah, £5, I think. Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah, all the Final Fantasy games are really cheap. They're all on sale at the minute, all the way from 1 upwards.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got it behind me somewhere here on the PS1, but I'm still wiring all my consoles up, so I haven't got it set up. I saw it for £5. I thought, I've never, I've been trying to push myself to get into JRPGs. Done a bit of digging with people who know about the game. They said, yep, 9's really good. It almost got that sort of medieval sort of style and the villages and towns. Give it a go, and I download it. I'm about 2 or 3 hours in, trying to get the hang of the card game that you're playing there, but that's quite good fun with the cards that you can collect on the way around. Turn-based combat, which I'm a complete novice at, but learning as I go. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. It's just that more... that was quite nice to relax with, get it in handheld mode, hour before you go to sleep, just sit in bed and just, wander around collecting things, pushing the story on. Yeah, enjoying that. That's good. And I think I'm going to be playing more of that as a bit of a noob to the Final Fantasy games. And finally,
just while you're on, RGT, while you're on Final Fantasy, because I've got it up the eShop in a minute. So Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2, they're £6.17 each. Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 4 are £9.74 each. So is 5 and so is 6. And you can get a 1 to 6 bundle, obviously, for 40 quid anyway. And you can get that physical, can't you? So they're all on sale. The 7, the remastered. So yeah, it's a great time to.
That's nice because you still got that. You've still got that PlayStation 1 aesthetic, but obviously the characters are a bit more high-raised up. So, but sometimes you need it to still look like the original. When they've taken these remasters sometimes, and they're not quite a complete remake, but they're not quite a full remaster, they look a bit off. But this is quite nice. It's just done it enough to make the quality of life better, but it's still a PS1 game, and I like that. Yeah. It looks really good. And finally, Forza Motorsport 2, which is our... because we played GTA 4 for our last Gen 7 playthrough on the Discord, and Forza Motorsport 2 on the Xbox 360 is the current one. I'm a bit late because we announced this a couple of weeks ago, but if you read on Discord, I did have a little bit of an accident to where I tipped a glass of water straight into the fan of my Xbox 360.
No!
I was quick on it though, so I drained it all off, got it dried with a fanning, and I've left it for a few days properly dry out. And touch wood, I've been testing it for a couple of days, and it seems to be fine. I daren't leave it plugged in overnight, but I mean,
Seb, he says it was an accident, but I think it was an act of foul play. I think it's the truth.
Well,
he didn't want to have to play the game.
I mean, I will admit, because I upgraded my PS3 to the PS3 Super Slim, the blue edition, a lovely blue edition with the 2 blue controllers, and I already have a Retro Fighters Defender blue one as well. That all looks lovely. And then when I was thinking, I'm going to need to get a new Xbox 360, I've got a 360e, which I quite like. It's very quiet. The last one's done. They're quite refined, I've got a 250 gig hard drive in, and I thought, I might have to upgrade. And they done a blue, the same colour as the PS3 Xbox 360e, and I thought, that would look good with all the blue consoles on my shelf. But no, I don't. RGT, you don't need another Xbox 360. This one's working fine for now, until I tip another glass of water in and decide I really want the blue one. But yeah, so it's working fine. Yeah, and I'm playing Forza Motorsport 2. Yeah, really good. It's that you can see they were going for the Gran Turismo vibe, like they did with original Forza Motorsport, but it's almost like a tuned down version, which is no bad thing. But you still get your tune-ups. You can pick your car to start with, get straight into some short races. And the Forza Motorsports, I've always quite liked them for that, because if you've only got an hour, you can do 5 or 6 races within that time and tune your car up. If you've got a bit longer, you can go through events. So they, whole events. So they're quite well spaced out, these games, for how much time you have. Looks good. Soundtrack is amazing on it. I mean, from Faithless to Prodigy, brilliant soundtrack on this. Yeah, really
enjoyed it. Always has great soundtracks, man.
Yeah. And I think, I think Forza have thought of that, and so Forza Motorsports 2, like I say, with your Faithless, and there's a few other bands on there as well, which I can't think of, can't come to mind at the moment. But yeah, really good. I've got my.
Did you dig out your Ferrari wheel and your pedals?
No, they are well buried. That was nearly an avalanche of consoles fell on me when I was looking for that. So I'm just with a 360 controller at the moment. So, but no, really good. I can see me putting plenty of hours in this over the coming weeks while we play it for our second game we're playing on this Gen 7 playthrough. If you're interested in that, that's listed on our Discord as RGT in the past, and there is, like I say, it's a second game. If it's like a GTA or even, a story-led game, we will put markers on, and we'll get to that marker, and we will have a little chat and a little review as we go through. But with Forza, we've just done, upload pictures of your cars, show what races you've done, let's see what you can do, and we'll just chat about the game. So if you're interested in that, jump on the Discord and come and join in. That's a good affordable way of playing some of these games that have either slipped through the net, or ones you want to revisit, or ones you haven't heard of, hidden gems that are all pretty cheap and pretty affordable to get your hands on. So other than that, guys, that is all what I have been playing. So I suppose we better get on to the news. We've scoured the the news. We've scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you this week's news. We start up with an article on Push Square by Liam Croft, which is hands-on chronological mode is a fascinating way to play The Last of Us Part 2 again. This fascinated me, this story, and I thought I'd never expected Naughty Dog to do this, but Last of Us Part 2 is probably the furthest you could possibly get from a normal video game in the AAA space. And that's a very good thing. Naughty Dog took story and structural risks that paid off with an outstanding experience in 2020. But what if it hadn't? In a rare what-if scenario, the Californian developer has released a new chronological mode that dramatically alters the sequence of events, reordering them in the order they actually happened for a fresh campaign playthrough. For a game that often broke up action sequences and touching flashbacks and spent 15 hours plus telling a stretch of 3 days from 2 different perspectives, this option is drastic in its implement. Upon starting a new game, you have the choice between the original campaign and chronological playthrough. Quite rightly, you're warned on 2 occasions in red text that Naughty Dog still wants you to experience The Last of Us 2 in its original form. The new mode is designed for anyone looking to play through the game again and is by no means a replacement for the original structure. The game is at its best when it's testing you, forcing you to control a character you may detest at first and seeing the world from their perspective. The reason that the chronological mode should never be your first experience of The Last of Us 2 is because it robs the experience of those emotions. Now told in sequence, the campaign opens with 3 of Abby's flashbacks back to back, immediately introducing you to her as kind and caring rather than the monster Naughty Dog originally wanted you to think she is. From there, you transition to the game's original opening, with Joel telling Tommy of the events of the first game's conclusion of the outskirts of Jackson after riding into town. The next hour of chronological mode is made up entirely of flashbacks and so effectively broke up the original campaign. Spoilers if you haven't played the game, so I will be reading this. Just push forward a bit. If you haven't played Last of Us 2 and are planning to, just don't listen to this bit. But we play through Ellie and Joel's surprise birthday trip to the Dinosaur and Space Museum. Then we suddenly cut to Abby and Owen's flashback on the Ferris wheel and inside the aquarium. The chronological mode then cuts back to Ellie when she is out clearing infected with Tommy in a mood with Joel. These cuts are jarring with erratic changes in perspective that demand you have knowledge of the overall story and to understand them in the moment. You're also made to wait longer for Joel's death scene compared to the original structure, which is one of the most pivotal moments in the game and is the driving force behind the entire narrative. This is why the chronological order mode is such a bad way to experience the title the first time round. It removes so much of the weight in Abby's decision to hunt down Joel and get her revenge. The new introductory sequences have allowed you to warm up to Abby's human side as her character, whereas the structure made this a slow, satisfying realization much later on. But that's the point. This isn't supposed to be your first playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2. From perspective of someone who knows the story inside out, chronological mode is fascinating. Where all the sequences remain the same, you can inject a degree of unpredictability into a playthrough with this new option. The way the new option switches back and forth between Ellie and Abby, chronologizing the time they spend in Seattle, is gripping when the scenes are played in sequence. As Ellie goes about searching for Abby, she's completely oblivious to her efforts and is off doing her own thing. Some of the transitions are a little jarring. You can go from an intense scene involving Ellie to a casual one with Abby in seconds. But the story was never designed to be played this way. Had Naughty Dog told its tale chronological from the beginning, the original release wouldn't be what we have in chronological mode. There would be far more context needed and more cutscenes between what was shipped in 2020. As we are alluded, it doesn't always work. For example, the critical scene where Abby finds her way to the theatre is first told from Ellie's perspective and includes the cut to black, where the original structure then switches back to day one from Abby's view. However, in chronological mode, you get there, cut to black, and then the game continues of Abby back outside the theatre, and you have to sneak back in to return to the same cutscene to progress it. For anyone looking to return to Last of Us 2, though, this is still comfortably far and away the best setting for your second playthrough, and it's the same outstanding title you remember, but rearranged in an interesting and surprising manner. It is also even more evidence that Naughty Dog got the sequel structure correct all along, and as we said, the chronological mode wouldn't have been how the game shipped if the developer told its story in a sequence. There would have to be more. However, out of order and with the requirement to spend time with a character you hated in the beginning, The Last of Us 2 elevated its storytelling prowess. The same plot told in order simply can't capture the same kind of emotional weight. Still, it's the perfect what if mode that returns fans that will get a kick out of you. If you ever feel a need to return to Last of Us Part 2, it's the chronological mode that makes the homecoming the most interesting. Have you gone back to play Last of Us Part 2 in chronological mode? How did you find it? And share your thoughts in the comments below on Push Square. Great article there. If you haven't played Last of Us 2, sorry about the spoilers, but with the show and everything being out and the game being 5 years old, hopefully you'd probably know the story by now. But yeah, I find this...
That's not necessarily the case. These boys are excited about Cyberpunk, remember? Same year.
But me, I think I didn't expect this from Naughty Dog. It's quite an interesting sort of update on the game, whether it's because we're in that season break of the TV show just gives people that little urge who have already played The Last of Us Part 2 a new reason to go back and play it again, maybe re-download or even buy a new copy, because a lot of people have either, played the original, and obviously you can get the remastered version there. So maybe that'll push people into getting it on their PS5. I don't know. But I find it quite interesting. I do quite like when devs do this, here's our game again, but there you go, you can have it this way. It reminds me of one of my favourite films, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, and they released the director's cut, which then actually shewed the story out in a completely different light because that was in a different order. And this is a similar sort of thing, I suppose, but done in the reverse. But yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, is this something if you've played, would you go back to? Would you like to experience this game again? I mean, I'll come to you, Seb, but, what's your views on this?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ever wondered what a rhythm-based stealth game with dinosaurs might look like? Or a farming sim in space with zombies? Welcome to the Gaming Blender podcast. I'm Matt, and with my co-host Scott, we take a random game genre and random game mechanics, blend them all up, and pitch wild, totally hypothetical games you've never heard of, and maybe shouldn't. New episodes every other week. Hit play and unleash your inner game dev. No coding required. Search the Gaming Blender on your favourite podcast app now.
I think this is interesting. So the narrative on The Last of Us and re-releases sort of sours this news a bit because so many people have been kind of burned out on getting the same games over and over again.
Definitely. You've always getting the ultimate version, and then that's the ultimate version, and you think, oh, hang on, I just spent $100 on the last one. So
the HD version that happens a lot as well.
Yeah. And even then, I'm like, I get this. There's a PS5 upgrade, and then there's The Last of Us. There's so many installments of The Last of Us, but just with 2 games that have been re-released over and over again. And I think that sort of tainted any additional content for these 2 games for the vast majority of people who actually kept up with that sort of thing. Also,
good point.
I also wish, and this is just maybe me spitballing here. I'm like, I like when people take when devs do the extra mile here, but I'm like, with the history of the last couple of years, I almost wish they would have given us especially with the effort that it took to rearrange all this and to rearrange this. I wish the devs would have kind of did a more Miles Morales size installment of saying here's I can't remember the kid's name. He is the kid who doesn't speak very much. He's with Abby a lot.
Yeah.
If they made a Miles Morales side story with him that tied into the events of this, maybe that would have.
That's actually a fantastic idea. 100%. That would have been a 15-hour story mode of a side character where you cross over, where you meet in the game and the original one. That's a brilliant idea, yeah.
So I'm like, that to me adds, because I think right now, I think what the show is doing well is expanding on the universe that we already know and getting a casual audience into this. I don't necessarily know who's this particular feature is for. If you're in a marketing meeting and someone pitches this is a great thing to say, it's a great thing to have as an addition to the game, but who's this drawing in? Because this game is so heavy that a lot of people don't do repeats of Last of Us Part 2. It is
true, very true.
It is. So I'm like, are you drawing those people in? And if you're also adding this mode and you're encouraging people right out of the gate, hey, this isn't the best way to experience the tale for the first time. You're not attracting new people with this either. That's not the goal there. So I'm wondering. I think this is cool, but who is this for? Versus I almost wish that they would take note of Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei to where that has a black and white mode I wish that kind of would have been added where it seems like it would have been lower on the totem pole additions where you can do maybe a black, white, and red to where the blood will actually pop off the screen when it's black and white, but the blood pops off the screen whenever you shoot someone, or whenever something visual happens, or maybe filters versus this. Because I think this is cool, but I have to keep asking myself, who is this for? Who's it for? What audience is this serving?
Yeah, what do you think, Scott?
Well, I can tell you who it's for. It's for me, Seb, because I played Days Gone about 4 years after everyone in the UCP was talking about it. And I'm going to play The Last of Us. I've not played one game in the series, even though my wife's watched the CV series. I've not watched it. I've not played it. Because what I like to do, I like to wait for it to be all the hype to wait down. You guys have played this version, that version. I've just sat here patiently, just peeking through the fields like a cheater, waiting for the ultimate HD version. It's made for me. I'm going to play it. It's going to make one sale. It's going to be me. $39.99 at launch, I'm hoping. So I'm going to play.
It's a free upgrade, right? No.
Yes, I believe it's a free upgrade. Yeah.
So when you buy this, though, like they're encouraging you as a first-time player not to play this mode. You know,
don't play chronological mode. No.
Yeah. So I'm like, are you going to dive into that still, Scott, or are you going to like try the traditional method where it's the one they encourage you, the director's vision of what the game is?
Well, I like to run before I can walk, so I'll probably play it in backwards order.
No, you'll play chronological mode, Last of Us Part 2, and then go play Part 1.
Yeah, that's what I'll do, yeah. I like to read... I'm a man that read the Bible from back cover to front just to switch it up.
So you started at Revelations all the way to Genesis. The end all the way to the beginning.
Worked my way all the way back to the Old Testament. That's how I do it. Yeah. I've not played any of them. But I will do. You know what I'm like? I'm a creature of habit. So I like to wait for people to talk about something, let it die down, and then I go, yeah, I'll jump on that. But it got obviously a nice big resurgence with the series. So I'll probably have to wait till the TV series stop and die down, then I'll jump on it. Because that's what happened to me in Days Gone. I waited till everyone went on about it, played the game. OG Tom and on the first series of the show, and George talked about it. And then 3 or 4 years later, Scotty comes along, goes, I fancy a bit of that.
What inspired you to play Days Gone first before Last of Us? Because that's always been considered like the off-brand zombie game between like PlayStation portfolio. Well, that was like the 7 out of 10 versus the masterpiece.
Well, there's a thing we do in the UK. It's called Throwback Thursday. So on a Thursday, I like to listen to songs, from the 80s, from the 90s, and then when I'm in my car on the commute to work, rather than listen to the latest podcast for the week, I'll go into the back catalogue because there's a lot there, and I'll just choose a random episode from the first couple of years, early UCP days, and I went on there and I heard the passion from OG Tom's voice, and I thought, I need to play this game, and that is literally what happened. Yeah, it was Throwback Thursdays. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel you. Scott, what's your chosen story for the week?
I've got a couple of little news bulletins, which I will save for at the end. There's some exciting stuff. But I thought I'll go with Xbox for news. Because obviously they've been very high profile last couple of weeks. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for fans of the Xbox. So I have got some news about Game Pass, which is quite exciting. So Xbox Game Pass subscribers are treated to the return of the comedy-infused sci-fi first-person shooter High on Life. Developed by Squanch Games, High on Life originally launched in 2022, and it was added to the Game Pass lineup as a day one title. In 2023, the game received a DLC called High on Knife, which explored the backstory of one of the main characters. The July lineup of Xbox Game Pass has been very promising. The service recently added Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 as a day one release, which is going to be expensive on the Switch. Before that, subscribers got access to Little Nightmares 2, the acclaimed horror title from 2021. You want to stay clear of that one, Seb. And now a Microsoft subscription brings back a rather unorthodox first-person shooter from around the same era. So July 15 marks the return of High Life's Xbox Game Pass subscription service. The game follows a teenager who stumbles upon a talking handgun during an alien invasion. From there, the two team up to take down a lineup of villainous aliens while searching for more talking weapons. What sets High on Life apart as a first-person shooter, though, is its unique dark humour. Throughout the campaign, Kenny, the primary weapon, and his fellow talking guns constantly deliver humorous commentary as the player mows down alien enemies. It does look fun if you check out any screenshots, or if anyone's played it. It does look like it reminds me of that first-person shooter Garden Warfare, where it didn't take itself too seriously. A bit like that, Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
So there's a few games in here. We've got High on Life available now. Abiotic Factor, July 22nd. Wheel World, July 23rd. Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, July 24th. Grounded 2, Early Access, coming on July 29th to Game Pass. So back to this article, Squanch Games sci-fi shooter currently has a very positive reviews on Steam. So perhaps Seb can echo that in a moment, which reflects its popularity among fans. While it's unclear how long High on Life will remain on Xbox Game Pass, it will likely be available for at least a few months on the Ultimate, Standard and PC tiers. Although talking guns are one of the High on Life's prominent features, it's not the first IP to include them. There are several other games with talking weapons that players might want to check out after playing Squanch's games, comedy FPS. Some notable examples include Saints Row, Get Out of Hell, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, and Transistor. Each of these games features some form of sentient weaponry that adds unique commentary during combat. Much like Kenny's remarks in High on Life, players can also add High on Life 2 to their wishlist if they're talking gun trope, as the sequel will likely hit the market in winter 2025. On a side note, some players may find Kenny's voice on High on Life familiar. That's because he's a character voiced by Justin Roiland, best known for playing Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith in the Adult Swim series Rick and Morty. Roiland was later removed from High on Life DLC following criminal charges, didn't know this, that surfaced in 2023. He won't be featured in the upcoming sequel. Luckily, the developer has already proved that the franchise can hold its own without him, as the High on Life DLC did pretty well despite his absence. That article comes to you from Mohsen Bakary, I should probably add on. Seb, you are the man on Steam. Have you played that or not really appealed to yourself?
High on Life came out. High on Life came out December 13th or the week before Christmas of 2022. Mm-hmm. So I'm like that, but that already came to Xbox. It was an Xbox.
Yeah, it came. Yeah, so it came and then it's gone. It's quite interesting. It came back. To be honest, I'm not sure what sparked that on. But...
build the hype for the second one, maybe.
Or... Yeah, so they usually exactly build the hype. Yeah. So they usually if they'll take it off and then when the second one comes out like beforehand, they'll usually put it back on. Just like they did with Tony Hawk. I think they had the first one, 1 and 2, but then like. So, and then like Atlas's games. So like when a big Atlas game is about to come out with Persona or like, what's the recent Metaphor? Like they also had the Persona games on Game Pass. So like they usually try to partner with those. High on Life is fun though. To me, it's more Ratchet and Clank, but with an adult twist on it than anything else. But yeah, I like the game. I like Rick and Morty though. So, but after Justin Roiland left, they reassigned both of the star roles with Morty and Rick to new actors who have done really well, and I think they're probably going to bring those two in to basically reassign all the roles on that. Each gun is also like each gun on High on Life is also like a famous comedian as well. So I'm like,
oh wow,
you kind of get like different, different voiceovers and different personalities there. So I'm like, I think so. You have like one gun that was basically the Rick and Morty type of gun. You had another gun that was kind of like, what was it? JB Smoove, I think. Well, he's a black comedian here in the States. He was like the chaperone of Spider-Man Far From Home, the one where they were in Europe. He was like, so I'm like, they had Tim Robinson is one of them, Laura Silverman. So I'm like, you have like several different.
That's brilliant. That's a nice. That's what I like when games do something different like that, and do a different trope, but go full in on it and adding comedians on as the guns. That's great. Yeah, nice little touch. Yeah, I've never played it. I remember back when that first released, or just before it released, I remember seeing Jack Black playing it on his YouTube channel, and I always thought, oh, this looks different. I remember thinking it did look a bit like almost that sort of first person Ratchet and Clank, but adult comedy added in. That was that sort of crossover what they were doing. But yeah, it's always looked interesting, and I wouldn't mind checking that out actually. Yeah.
Tara Strong is in this as well. I forgot she was in this. So I'm like, and it has that Rick and Morty type of humor. Like there's one instance in the game. This is very minor, so light spoilers here. But like there's one instance in the game where you're playing and you come across like on one of the worlds, because you go from different planet to different planet, just like, a Ratchet and Clank type of situation. So I'm like, there's one like environment to where you walk on to like the slowest moving train ever, and then it's on a track, and you have like like on those train tracks you have that lever you can pull where you can adjust whether or not a train station goes straight or like changes its trajectory. So on the straight track, it's one person tied up, and then another person, it's on another track, it's like 6 people tied up, and you stand there and you're watching, and they basically say, hey, you can untie one of us. They say you can you have time to choose between to basically change the trajectory of the track to save one of us. Are you going to save the 5 people, or are you going to save the one person? And the whole like jokes back and forth of like the guy's arguing why he should live, and then he's just like, well, I'm more important than these 5 people. I have my whole life ahead of me, and these 5 people were like, no, there's 5 of us. Like, calm down. There's 5 of us. That means there's 5 lives to live. And so they're arguing back and forth. And meanwhile, like, you're standing there, and then all of a sudden they start ganging up on you and like, hey, choose somebody. You got to make a choice here, buddy. Like, you can't just walk away. You got to choose, at least save somebody. So it's like that type of humor. It's like that dark Adult Swim type of humor that you might see in like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but also like with a Ratchet and Clank kind of like twist onto it. So it's a cool little gem. Xbox Game Pass has been hidden this year. Just absolutely knocking it out of the park. Expedition 33 is on there. Crash, all the Crash games now. You have like, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 recently. They had Doom, The Dark Ages. So I'm like, they've been feasting over there.
It's been unfortunately a bit overshadowed with everything else in it at the moment. But when you actually look at the games that have gone on there, there's a lot on there, especially new releases. So it's been really good. But good news story that, Scott. Have you got another one? Did you want to add? Did you say? Or
just a couple of quick bullet points. I just wanted to bring 2 things up really, just because they might appeal to a couple of people. To many people. One is PlayStation 5 fans. This is one for you. So I don't know if you remember, there was a DualSense controller that came out, which was modelled on the PS1. Had a PS1 skin on it. So absolutely beautiful. Now you can still get that. I've seen it on the second-hand market, available in CEX in the UK. And I'm sure it's the US's equivalent as well in North America. But that was, they only printed so many, so it goes for a higher price tag. I've wanted one myself, but I didn't want to pay the 80 or 90 quid second hand to get one. You want one brand new. So good news is they are bringing it back out. So originally it sold out. It's a 30th anniversary is why it came out. It sold out in seconds, basically. So everyone wanted it to go back in stock, and they finally listened. So apparently in the UK, it will have a restock on September 29th. With pre-orders going live on July 23rd. So you guys should be listening to this show, I would say, come Sunday or Monday. So what date does that take us to? So basically of that week, that's a Saturday. So by the time before the next show comes out, after you guys listen to this, you can get your pre-orders in. So do check that out, because I myself will probably have a look as well, because if you're going to pay all that money, you kind of want a brand new spanking one, really, don't you, to be honest?
As long as the scalpers don't flood.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully they take a leaf out of Nintendo's book and actually
just get the stock in there.
Get the stock in. The other thing I wanted to mention, probably more one for you, RGT, because I know you play a lot of the FIFA games, formerly FIFA, now it's EA FC 26. I'm really confused with this one, RGT, so I'm going to need your help. I am a fan of football, but I'm not up to date on world football. Now, FC 26 reveals Ultimate Edition cover athlete. Have you seen who it is, RGT?
I have not, no.
This is quite hot within the last 20 hours, I believe. Apparently, it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which I'm a bit confused. Because
really,
I thought he retired. So, Mark, basically, the cover. This is from. So, I've got this from GamesRant.com. This is from Jose V. Rossi. The cover for the upcoming EA Sports FC 26 Ultimate feature edition will feature Zlatan Ibrahimovic, making a return of the popular soccer star since FIFA 23. There have been plenty of EA Sports FC 26 leaks revealing some of the features in the new entry, but now EA has finally shared official details while announcing an upcoming reveal trailer for the game. The EA Sports FC franchise is the rebranded blah. So let's get to the nitty gritty. EA Sports FC 25 added new features. I'm trying to find where they leaked it from. EA has revealed, there we go, that the long-awaited return of Zlatan Ibrahimovic is finally happening in the new EA Sports FC 26, potentially releasing on September 26th. the developer confirmed that the Swedish soccer star will be the cover athlete for FC26 Ultimate Edition, though more information will be unveiled during the game's official trailer, maybe with other superstars. Like it might be Legends, because he's not active. I'm sure he retired.
Yeah, well, I think his Ultimate Team is you use Legends as well as your card, so I would imagine that as the Ultimate Edition, it will be Ibrahimovic, because of he's now retired and has gone into
he hasn't played since.
And then I wonder if they'll have a mixture on the standard edition where people
they might have like Rooney, and they might have each
or even just current players, maybe just current players, you know.
So I can't speak to soccer because I know diddly squat, but like over here in our sports, like with the basketball games and football games, where it's like the ultimate editions or legendary editions always have like a retro star. They'll do the Kobe.
Like WWE had Undertaker, for example. That makes sense. So that makes sense.
So I think it's just a common trend that's happening now.
Yeah,
definitely.
RGT is a soccer fan. Have you played Rematch yet?
I haven't.
Yes, on the Game Pass. We brought that up a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good things about it. Actually, I haven't seen hardly any negative stuff about it, and I have just thought, I don't. It looks quite basic for me, but I suppose the proof is in the gameplay. I suppose, but people do seem to enjoy the almost sort of Rocket League style of online matches. And that made me laugh that the developers come out and said they're not even fans of football. It was just a game.
They made Sifu, a beat 'em up game before this.
Yeah. So, but at first I just thought, this is just another cheap sort of online game that won't last. But the more I keep seeing it, I keep thinking, it looks as though if you could get a few friends together, this could be good fun.
It's retro inspired as well, isn't it?
It's kind of retro, but it's almost like the career mode from FIFA, like when you're playing the first person view.
Yeah, when you're literally just playing as one player, and that's you.
Pro Evo, wasn't it?
You go online and go in a team, and because I think in the EA games now, I think it's become a legend. I think where you do the single player and you just play as one character. So it looks similar to that, and I think you can go online and match up and stat up your character, do it. So it's interesting. That's a different take on it, and also sometimes simplicity is the way to get people involved in it.
That's what Rocket League was.
And you look at what happened to Pro Evolution Soccer and how it turned into e football and just crashed and burned. And sometimes it is you just need that almost sort of five-a-side. Quick gameplay, quick goals, great fun, quick in and out matches, and sometimes that's at work. So that's I am interested in that rematch. Matt, we'll have to try and get a UCP team up to play. That would be good.
Yeah, that'd be good fun. Make a league.
I think I'll be better at this than I would be at FIFA, considering I still don't know what offsides is. They say when you see it, but I'm like I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe you can turn it off in the features.
No, in this game there's no offsides. So there's no offsides. There's no pauses, no offsides, and no fouls. So you can tackle as hard as you want to. You can there's no offside rule or anything like that. So it
literally is just soccer Rocket League, really.
I heard a really funny offside analogy. I'll see if this helps, Seb. It was two women talking about the offside role, right? And one of them is who's our she won the Euros, so one of our lionesses it was. I can't remember her name. Might be Jill. She was in the Jungle program.
Jill Scott.
And she was trying to explain it on this podcast to someone who doesn't like football, but she likes shopping. She goes, right, how can I help this? Imagine you picked up a dress. Sorry, imagine you walk into the till and you want a dress, but there's someone in front of you to that till, and she's like, right, you can't cut in front of them. However, if the person behind the till, the cashier, passes you the dress, then it's okay to touch it. And it really made me laugh. I was like, it's not a bad shout, actually. But yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah. Just make sure you're that right side when the ball's passed. That's all it is. Yeah.
That's funny.
If you touch it exactly at the same time, then it's fine. She's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. That's a brilliant way of doing it.
Yeah. What about yourself, Seb? Have you got any hot news for us this week? Hot, juicy goss?
Yeah, probably the biggest news story of the week would be Ghost of Yotei. Finally got a deep dive look at the biggest PlayStation game game that's probably going to drop this year. Like first party PlayStation games, people don't at me, y'all Death Stranding people. So anyways, first party games. This is it. This is Sucker Punch. They're coming out with the highly anticipated sequel from the well reviewed Ghost of Tsushima that came out in, what was that, 2019? 2019? I think it was the year
2019. Yeah. I think it was. Yeah.
Year after the pandemic, or before the pandemic, and then so in this game, there is a lot of stuff going on here. You're playing quite some time after the protagonist from the first game, Jin Sakai, passed away. So I'm like, this is very much a sequel because you're almost like 100 years after the events of Ghost of Tsushima. Yotei is a huge environment. So some of the cool features that I think should be highlighted about Ghost of Yotei is that the combat is upgraded completely. Instead of you having stances to where, like, in the first game you had 4 different stances, and those 4 different stances worked against enemies. Now you have 4 different weapon types that each weapon works against better enemies.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm like, so for instance, you have a katana, you have like a long, like super katana that you can basically like wield. It's like a giant katana. Then you have 2 blades, and you have a staff with a little sword at the end, or a kunai with a little like chain at the end. So I'm like, those are like your massive weapon types, and from there, they kind of giving you a lot of Batman Arkham abilities as well. So I'm like, you can kind of utilize the environment in different ways, stealth takedowns. Kind of like in the first game, you could do stealth takedowns. In this one, I know you can do like chain takedowns. It looks like again. The immersive environment got a big upgrade. So like, if you're running in the field of flowers, for instance, you can actually like you actually get a boost from like following the wind and running alongside the wind and alongside where the flowers are blowing.
Oh, interesting.
And it sort of gives you a speed boost when you're on your horse as well. Then let's see, they have immersive modes. They have a black and white mode that just like the traditional like samurai movies back in the day were all like black and white.
That was on the
it's the first
one.
I
think.
Yeah, this was on the first one. It's coming back, but then like but then there's a hybrid a little bit where you're like, they brought in what's his name? Tashimi Maki, where he's like he's the director of the movie 13 Assassins. So I'm like, he brought and shot like all these blood animations and mud animations to add on to all the different modes. So I'm like, they partnered with some directors, movie directors, and they partnered with anime directors, and to bring in like anime style beats. Like the director of popular anime Samurai Champloo, he's brought in a lo-fi mode. So I'm like, if you like lo-fi music while you're traveling on these serene environments, it'll play lo-fi music while you're
cool. They've really perfected it, haven't they? They've really added.
Oh yeah.
Sony executives have really, they're saying of how much like head and shoulders above it is. They're treating it a bit like GTA 6 sort of thing, you know. They're really saying it's such a big improvement, and the previous games are banging as well. So it's going to be pretty incredible to see it all come together.
It's one of those things to where like PlayStation, and I'm not shooting shots at anybody when I'm saying this, it's like PlayStation has this unique ability to create their first party games to where they feel like big cinematic experiences, big cinematic moments in games. So I'm like, you saw that in the Uncharted games, the God of Wars, I would say the Spider-Man games. They feel larger, and I'm not saying better, but they feel larger, grander, and more theatrical than any other game on the market. Is because they spend so much time on the slight details. They spend so much time on the music, the score, how everything's going to hit in your headset, the DualSense, the features where you can do different modes of like cinematic modes. Like this one also has like a English dub and a Japanese dub, and the Japanese dub will also move like with the English. You can do like that old school, like where you could see like the Japanese like talking, and then but it looks like the English mouth is moving. Or you can do the traditional one where like it's the Japanese speaking and their mouth moves according to that. So they recorded several different the VOs and all that recorded like several different takes, and also like you see like the mocaps had to record their mouths moving to several different like languages. I'm like, no other studio does this. No other like company does that.
Attention
so I'm like,
to detail, isn't it?
It's attention to detail, but yeah. So I'm like, and I think like the biggest news to me, and this to me is going to be a shot at other like platforms. They were releasing this for $70. They're keeping the $70 mindful, like $70 track here, which I think is a shot at other studios, because I'm like, the other big two, you're looking at their tentpole games this year, Mario Kart World, which shouldn't have been $80. In no world is that an $80 game. And then you look at Outer Worlds 2. Microsoft is charging $80 for the Outer Worlds 2. I don't know if y'all saw that presentation, but it didn't quite look like it was 80, like going to raise the bar.
That's a tough one, yeah. That's a tough sell, I'm afraid.
So I'm like, this game has just as much features. I would say this has 3 times as many features as Mario Kart World, and it's still charging for less. So I'm like, I think this is, I'm excited about this game. It has, another interesting thing is like this Atsu is basically the main character of this game. She is did y'all watch Inglourious Bastards at all?
I haven't seen it.
Yes,
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah, did y'all watch Hateful Eight at all? Like, or any of like the older revenge type of movies? I'm like, this follows the revenge type of format where one person is going after an organization, and they're hunting out different members of the organization to get revenge. This has like some of that Hateful Eight like artistic vision, but with like an old school Japanese revenge story, and I think that's so cool. And Assassin's Creed Shadow, by the way, earlier this year did this exact same story with this exact same setting of like one female protagonist hunting down an organization and trying to kill the members of this, trying to kill each individual member that was responsible for her family members' deaths. This one is the exact same story, except it feels more nuanced, because like the Yote 6 is the organization she's hunting down. So there's 6 major boss fights that you're encountering, versus like on Assassin's Creed Shadows, you had like 50 people in that organization, and all of them sort of felt very similar, you know? This one is more stylized. It's like, oh, this one guy looks like he might even have like a drunken fist type of like fight sequence that you might have to fight him with. And I'm like, he kind of stands out. He's like, he has this like broken down demeanor. He looks like a drunk. He has like, his face looks like it's just like been eaten by like negligent lifestyles. And so I'm like, he has a very particular look, versus like I played Assassin's Creed Shadows all the way to the end, and I can't tell you anybody in that game. Like, I cannot name anybody in that game.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's more stylized. This looks like it has a more cohesive vision. This looks like I'll be honest, it looks like it's going to be the most premium game this year. Guys, did y'all watch this? Have y'all played Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
Are y'all going to play Ghost of Yote?
I never finished Ghost of Tsushima, but this is making me want to go back. This is making me want to go back, because I didn't see the whole showcase, but I saw clips of it, and I thought, this looks very good, looks very next gen, very stylized, very, you know, when, like you say, it does tend to be the Sony studios, but when they get a vision and they do all out to make sure that you get the best vision that they wanted to show you, that as one of those, do you know what I mean? And you just think, and then you start seeing the comments, and you start seeing the YouTubers talking about it, and everyone is like, this is going to be incredible, this is brilliant. Sony's getting back on the track with these single player stories. Then you say they're releasing at $70. That's all looking very good for this game. So Ghost of Tsushima, I really think I should go back and play through that again and get the hype up ready for Yotei, I think. But
even if you don't do anything but mainline the like the main story, like I think you would get a lot of that. And
well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the reason why I actually played the first one, I only played it last year, and that was because I went back and played Red Dead Redemption on the Switch, didn't I? I remember I brought it up at the Ponzi's, which caused a bit of a fuss. Yeah, so I played it. I loved it so much, and then I you just can't replace that, the itch, even when I got the second one. And my friend said, Mitch Retro Rummage over on YouTube, little shout out for him. He said to me, Scott, if you enjoyed the story of Red Dead Redemption, he goes, play Ghost of Tsushima. It's basically that, but in Japan in a different time period. And that sold it to me. I literally got a copy of Vinted, and I only started playing it last year. But yeah, I loved everything about it. I like the mechanics of the wind. But everything you just said that added onto it, those seem like huge things. And the game did so well, they didn't need to put that much effort in. It would have sold anyway. So fair play and hats off, because nice to see the effort put in.
Yeah, it's none of this rinse, repeat. It's, we'll give you what you love. And I've always said that. It's a difficult second album. We'll give you what you love, but let's give you this. Let's give you that. Let's stylize it. Let's take that story a little bit further, but let's not take away from the combat. Let's add to the combat. So, yeah, brilliant. Very looking forward to that. It's nice to have.
They had a quote that I thought was like a straight bar, and it's one of the things that stood out to me. They said it's not about checking everything off. It's about engaging with the content that gets you excited. And that was their mantra for creating this game. So I'm like, and to me, that was like a shot at the Ubisoft like style of games, where like they have that huge checklist. They created like in this game, they do have a whole bunch of side stuff for you to do, but it's like in this game, the game adapts to how you play it too, is what they said. So I'm like, when you can take the environments and all that kind of stuff will kind of adapt to the order in which you try to take out the people, the Yotei members as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's good.
This is October release. Is that right, Seb?
Yeah, October 7th. October 2nd. Yeah. So I'm like, perfect time.
Yeah.
Perfect time.
Yeah, so, brilliant. Something to look forward to. And like I say, a bit of good news. Really good game coming out. Hopefully, Sony getting back to their best after their little excursion into the live service, and we won't mention that word Concord, but let's hope this is a revert back on track. So, but yeah, brilliant guys. Thanks for the news. Absolutely superb. Some great articles there. Bit of everything. I think it leads us on to our amazing subscribers. These guys put their hands in their pockets every month and chip in various ways, but it's, as I always say, keeps the lights on at UCP Towers, keeps us making these episodes on a weekly basis for you guys to listen to. And one of their little perks is the subs list. So do you want to take in turn, guys? Do you want me to start us off and we'll take in turn through them? Yeah. So first up, we have our wonderful friend from Sweden, Cenox. Thank you, Cenox. Who wants to go next?
Next, we have the one-man George fan club, the master of YouTube comedy shorts. It is Carlos.
He's brilliant at those, isn't he? It's some great ones. He does them.
The last one was funny as well. Did make me laugh. He was what was he putting a load of facial and soffit along? I think out of the garage.
Yeah, brilliant. Bless his heart. Yeah, brilliant. Who we got next then, Seb?
Bam returns.
I didn't even know that was you saying that then. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for returns. Then we've got the wonderful people at Trestles of New York. Thank you very much.
And then we have got the most Italian man in Essex, and that is Badabinkster. An absolutely splendid dressed man who loves his football. So I wonder what he thinks of the Zlatan news. Let's know the Discord.
I love that lad. What a great guy.
Tingle, Turner.
that was a sensual one, wasn't it? That was,
yeah, brilliant.
Like an Ann Summers advert.
And then we've got the awesome Digital Monkery, who is our guy for the challenge accepted. He's a moderator as well. He covers everything in there, and also he is doing. I'll add it in now. I was going to add it in the end, but I'll do it now. As part of our subscriber perks, you get access to the Unglorious chat, and part of being that chat is we do a Zoom quarterly meeting. Now, this week's meetup, normally we just meet up online. We have a Zoom meeting. We all chat games and films and what we've been doing. We have a couple of beers and we, glass of wine, whatever you poison. We have a bit of fun and we all have a good chat together. Well, this time we are doing a gaming quiz written by Digital Monkery himself. And not only that, we have a one-off, very, very special prize.
Very special. Very,
very special prize. So
fingers on lips.
Yeah. It's going to be brilliant. If you want to know more about that and you're a subscriber, if you haven't seen in the Unglorious chat, jump in there. You'll have a look. But it's a one-off, very awesome prize. It's going to be a great quiz, great bit of fun, and that is on Saturday, August the 2nd at 7:30 p.m. GMT. So if you're in the Unglorious chat, if you're a subscriber, if you've never been on one of our Zoom meetups before, but you fancy a bit of a quiz, come and join in. So about 7:15 on that evening of 2nd of August, I will put up the codes for anyone who's in that Unglorious chat to come and join in, have a bit of fun with a quiz. There's a good prize for the winner. We'll do a second and third prize as well. A little bit of merch for anyone who finishes second and third. That'll be a great night, great bit of fun. And come and join us. If anyone needs any details, questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, DM us on Instagram, DM us on X, DM us on anything that we're on. Come and have a chat or ask one of the hosts, ask Seb, ask Scott. One of us will point you in the right direction and we'll get you onto that. But yes, so again, thank you, Digital Monkery. Right, sorry, on to you, Scott.
Next we have head to the kitchen, grab your cooking scale. Need to weigh this one. It's the gaming gram.
Oh, God.
Sound like Gollum then. Then we have. I have to do the old, especially now with his new cosplay uniform that's coming out. This will give you a clue if you haven't seen it. It is going brand. It's Boba Loba. Thank you, Boba.
Next up, quite excited for this one because I'm going to go see him next weekend. And that is Ginge. So the Platinum King, the biggest man in every gym. He is going to be, he lives around Nottingham, and I'm going to be at Nottingham Video Game Expo. Tickets are on sale, I believe. If you want to check that out, it's run by James Welch, who is It's Much More on YouTube. And there's another
great channel on YouTube.
I have met him in Manchester. I'm trying to remember his name, but it slipped my mind. Anyway, I have been to Nottingham Video Game Expo since the very beginning. I'd always give them a plug. They're really, really nice guys. I've met them in Norwich. I've seen them all over the place. They get about. They put on a great event. It's not just the market. There's also competitions. There'll be guest speakers there. You can get bit signs. Sometimes they have developers on. I think they've had guys from Rare before who worked on the Banjo-Kazooie games, those sort of things. There's giveaways. There's old consoles to play. And here's a big one for you. They sell alcohol normally at the bar. They did the last few years. So I hope they do this time.
That's
it is
dangerous.
a different venue. Yeah, it is dangerous.
Especially if you
it
enjoyed.
It is a different venue. I'm hoping that's still the case. If not, I will be up in arms.
I'd say you're going with Gene, just like having your own bodyguard going around with you. Everyone's going to think you're a celebrity.
I don't think we're going to get through the door if we walk side by side. So, but yeah. So I
you
think
will with that. You will with your chain on.
Oh, well, especially when I'm covered in margarine, I'll slide right through. But yeah, so big shout out to Ginge, absolute legend. So hopefully I'll get to meet the man in person in Nottingham. And if anyone else wants to come, if you're from the area, I mean, I'm 3 hours away, but it's a good laugh. So yeah, check it out. And I think that's the weekend of the 23rd, 24th July. I think it's over Saturday and Sunday.
Sounds brilliant.
But yeah, big shout out to Ginge.
Who we got next then, Seb?
It is me, Harvey Retro.
That's a good accent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Harvey. And then we've got the wonderful Emma Sharp. Thank you, Emma, who is still currently building her new games room. It's starting to look very good at the moment. So helping her out of a lead at the moment for her original Xbox so she can chuck that through the old HDMI to get that for the upscaler. But yeah, looking very good, her games room. So I'll get her to pop some pictures on our Discord so you can have a look at the room when it's done. It's looking very good. But yes, thank you, Emma.
Before I read out this next one, RGT, did you order the air tags? Have they turned up?
Yes, they've turned up, but I don't know where he is to put the tags on him. So
Oh, is that what you got to put them on him to track him?
Yeah.
What's the point in ordering them? If we knew where he was, we wouldn't need the air tags.
Exactly. I just didn't think of that until I ordered them. But yeah.
RGT. Thank you to Nowhere Near Berlin.
Yeah.
But I'm still. I mean, it's a bittersweet. I mean, I appreciate you, but also I deep down hate you a little bit because I don't know where you are.
We might have to send an air tag to the Forever Skies guys and see if they can just sneak one onto his bag.
Is it within budget just to send? What's the population of Berlin of Germany? Can we just send one to every resident, or is that a bit out of budget?
I don't know if Petty Cash will just stoop to that because at the moment there's only £14.36 and half-eaten Kit Kat and a Mars bar. So
hold on, let me check it out. Phil, copy boy. Let me just speak to Phil, the copy boy. Phil, that piggy, not that one. No, that's Mumsy's toy. Put that down. I know it vibrates. Put it down. The piggy bank. Smash that on the floor. That's it, Phil. How much? £1.50.
Oh, well, where's the other 13 gone? Oh, I don't
know. I think George has spent it on a wedding. That might be what happened.
Might be. Yeah, you never know. But yes. Anyway, thank you, Greg.
And now it is I. Let me do it like George does it. Because he used to yell this out. Like, what does he say? Mumsy, Mumsy.
You sound like you're in Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Mumsy. Then we have. It fell on me again. The RGT fan club. Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate it.
And then we have got my favourite Pete, and that is Pete Brocklehurst. Big shout out to you, Pete. I hope you have a great weekend, whatever you're doing and wherever you are.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Pete.
Can y'all do the next two? Because I'm going to take the last one.
Okay.
He stepped up. He has stepped up. Okay, well, next up we have Love Him or Hate Him. It's the wonderful Billy Marmite. Thank you, Billy.
And then we've got Simon says this, Simon says that. Don't listen to that, Simon. Listen to this, Simon. The only Simon. The best Simon. It's Simon Pryke, baby.
And we just have to add in that we are contractually obliged to say this next person's name this way, but I mean, I always struggle with this, but someone has stepped up to take the reins this week. So, Seb, away you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he is a former fantasy critic champion. This man is the only man to take down Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with one hand. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the living legend himself. This is Fat Zen.
Plot twist.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the squeak at the end. But
I didn't realise you had a balloon full of helium next to you to have a sip on for the end.
Yeah, I was just gonna keep it raw and ragged all the way through, but I was just like, I gotta throw the twist in.
Brilliant. But yes, thanks to all you guys. As we always say, you know, a little goes a long way, and we really appreciate you. And and if you're interested in that quiz, the meetup done by the wonderful Digital Monkery, and hit us up on the Discord or like I say, questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, or DM us on X or on Instagram, anything like that, and we'll fill you on in where to come and how to join and be part of the membership. But yes, thanks again to all those, which I think leads us on to guys. I'll start with Scott this time. I'm going to say, what are you hoping to play?
Well, I'll tell you, there's 52 of them in a pack. I'm going to be playing, well, not in Belatro. There's a lot of cards if you keep adding them in the booster packs. I'm going to be playing Belatro, baby. That's
I did think you'd say that, funnily enough.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not even going to entertain anything else. I'm enjoying it so much. I just want to say thank you again, Digital Monkery. Sorry, Seb, that I didn't listen before. And RGT, I'm going to be climbing up that table, so watch out. I'm going for the top, baby.
Yeah, you're putting the hours in, mate.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it'll be 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, he's going to be starting Dave the Diver, and I'm going to be like, I am going to be the new
I already played that.
Spreading the word. Spreading the word.
Dave the Diver. Yeah, that was another one late onto that. But is there anything else you're going to play, Scott?
No, that's it. So I probably want to say, Seb, what are you hoping to play?
Scott, I'm really surprised. I thought you'd be playing the biggest Nintendo game this week.
Donkey Kong.
DK. Donkey Kong, he is the leader of the.
Did you know? I saw. It didn't quite make the news, but apparently I saw an article today when I was researching for the show that apparently they spent longer developing Donkey Kong than they have with GTA 6 from many different sources.
Really?
That's wow.
Apparently so. So, I mean, I did, when I last was on a show with George, which was a while ago, that was when a direct came out. I hadn't watched it at the time. George gave us a briefing. I have checked it out, and I tell you what, I think George is quite right with his comments. Some of it does. I'm interested to see how it gets all put together. I mean, it's going to be a very, very good game. But some of the mechanics were just smashing things up sort of thing for no reason and just being a bit creative. Seems a bit alien to what the actual game is. Yeah, it's a complete different spin. But no, I haven't pre-ordered it, Seb. I will hold off the excitement, but I will be playing it. I'm sure, but to be fair, by the time we talk next time, I'll probably tell you I'm 10 hours into that and all.
You just remind me, I'll just quickly jump in here. It's a bit random, but when you said that you'd seen the news article, there's a YouTuber called Retro Head, great lad, big game collector, and he done a short the other day, and this was on the BBC News here in the UK, and they were talking about retro gaming, which is unusual for them to be talking about retro gaming on the main evening news. But the first mistake they made was they said people are buying retro games now because it's such a cheap hobby. And then secondly, they had a Super Nintendo in the studio with a controller at the front, but they had a NES cartridge in it.
That's messed up. That's funny.
And you're like, yeah, get your researchers to do the research for you. That. And he done a little short on it saying the BBC has just doubled this up, double fail for him. And it just made me laugh.
They do that a lot. So it's funny you mentioned that. The Retro Hunter, I don't know if you're aware of that shop, which is in. So he's actually put on Facebook today. So my friend Ali, who owns that store, he's actually on the radio at 7:30, and that would be on the 16th of July. So it would have been past by the time you guys listen to that. So he's on the radio talking about games. I know he's got to be careful because last time he spoke to journalists, they didn't listen to anything he said. And they, for some reason, said Mario on the NES is worth like $1,000 or whatever. And I was like, where'd you get that from? And he goes, I've got no idea. I think they just heard me say Mario and they just made the article up.
Oh, my God.
They do mix, they do tend to mix things up quite a fair bit.
Yeah. But
that's the BBC for you.
Yeah, we've gone off a bit of a tangent now. It's my fault. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, what are you...
No, you're good.
What are you hoping to play then, Seb?
I'm going to be playing college football, a lot of college football. Yeah, I'm backing. Oh, my goodness.
Go Texas State, baby.
It's a new thing, man. They added a lot of new features in this game, especially with like especially with their version of the franchise mode, where you take helm of a school and kind of run with it and try to operate their athletic program. I'm just trying to make sure, I like taking a small remote school here in Texas and trying to build that up into a juggernaut year after year after year. So I'm like, that's kind of what my addiction is outside of, I'm going to try to finish the altars because I think I'm on like Act 2 going into Act 3.
That's interesting, that game. That's really interesting.
Oh my goodness. I got to send you the link because it's actually really cool. Well, I know you have Xbox. I don't know if you have Game Pass, but it's on Game Pass as well. That one, I was going to recommend to you, RGT, Harvest Moon, the Lost Valley and Skytree Village. It gives me kind of Harvestella type of vibes. It is, I know it's for the Switch because that's the code they offered, but I don't necessarily know if there's anything else there. I played the demo of that. That's and that's what I'm saying. Kind of gave me Harvestella.
Anything Harvestella, my ears are pricked up.
Yeah, it's called Harvest Moon, the Lost Valley and Skytree Village. So I'm like, that was decent. It's not quite for me, but I liked what I played of that one. Patapon 1 and 2 replay. I'm probably going to jump into that a little bit. I had never really played Patapon back in the day, so interested in jumping into that and seeing. Scott, I was going to mention this one to you because I don't know. I think RGT's, for sure I know RGT's in this movie. But there's a little IP back in I think this was the 80s, called RoboCop. Have you ever heard of RoboCop?
Oh, of course. I've seen RoboCop. Very good film.
Anyways, RoboCop Rogue City, a really, really underrated game, is out, I think, out this week on Game Pass as well. So I'm like,
I think I got it on PS5 when it came out. I think.
Yeah,
it's a cheap game as well when it came out.
So I'm like, that one's a fun game for people who haven't played that. I might go back and try to get the trophies for that because that's something like 5 to 6 hours long. So, but I will definitely play. I'll be playing the altars and college football, and then that's pretty much it. Because tonight I am excited because I'm going to go see Superman.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people online going to watch that, and
I've seen the trailer. Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of films lately, but yeah.
RGT. Man, what are you going to be playing? What are you hoping to play?
Want to get Singularity wrapped up. I've got a busy weekend, and we all know why that is. But hopefully, when I'm back, we will be getting Singularity done. Going to be plenty more for Forza Motorsport 2. Really enjoying that. Been wanting to get back into a car game with a bit of modern and upgrading your car and going into the races. Love all that. Love all that Gran Turismo vibe. So yeah, looking forward to playing that. Maybe a little bit more Final Fantasy 9. And for when I'm away at the weekend, it will be Super Pocket with me. And just playing on that with me Evercade cartridges. But I think that'll be pretty much me, I believe. I do believe, gentlemen, I think we're about there, about the end of the show. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks for joining in, as always. Thanks for people who subscribe. Thanks for people who have been long-term listeners. We really appreciate it. And it just leaves me to say, there's nothing wrong with being given that unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.